Hey guys, Peter here to do an album review. Today I'm here to tell you all about the latest album from Semblant, Obscura, out March 6 on Frontiers Music. This album has 11 tracks, 48 minutes in length, and this is the band's third full-length studio album. This is a band from Brazil that has a symphonic metal sound with a lot of death metal elements at play, and this album is really a showcase of those two genres coming together to create a really robust sounding record. Having said that, this album is really dividing for me. I really feel broken up by it because I don't know exactly where to go with it. There's a lot of great elements at play with this record. There's a lot of important and really well crafted elements, but to me there's also a lot of negatives, and I'm not sure if the negatives outweigh the positives on this record. I'm still not quite sure about that. Having said that, I want to start off with the positives because I really feel like there's a lot of positive things about this record. So I want to start off with the playability. This album has great playability on a track-by-track basis. It really has a continuous approach. It's not broken, it's not divided, doesn't have a lot of peaks and valleys. It's really linear in its approach from the first to the last song. And it really allows the record to have a straightforward motion to it. And it's very dynamic. And very creative without being very eclectic. And what I mean by that is that they used a lot of the same elements, but they used them in different ways on a song-by-song basis. So what this allows the album to have is songs that are very different, but very unique at the same time. So I don't really consider it to be an eclectic record because it doesn't pull influences from a lot of different genres. It uses pretty much the genres that come with it, which is, like I said, the death metal and the symphonic death metal, and it uses them, but it's how it uses it in the combination and how the songs are structured, how the songs are put together, where the solos come in, what style of vocals they use. All of these elements are the same on every single track, but the question really is how they come together. The combination of them and the order in which they're combined is what gives each song a very individual DNA, a very individual fingerprint, but still allowing the album to feel very connected, because overall, when you look from the outside in, the whole album has a very similar sound and a very similar approach. Vocally, I really like the clean vocals on this record, both male and female. Really strong, really driven, really magnificent. On the symphonic side, it really elevates the record. It really pushes the sound, it really pushes the boundaries, and it really creates tracks that have a great cinematic value and a great cinematic feel to it. The side of things as far as vocals is concerned that I wasn't completely sold on was the overused, in my opinion, the overuse of the harsh vocals. I like the harsh vocals, I like how they sounded, I just didn't like the approach that they took. To me, they overused them at times. Certain tracks, they really kill everything around it because they're so strong, they have so much volume, they have so much heaviness and so much presence that it really shuts down almost everything. It shuts down the melody of the guitars, the melody of the pianos, it shuts down the melody of the clean vocals, and in my opinion, is not adding value, is subtracting value from the overall sound of the record. To me, you could still use the harsh vocals, but you have to use them in a more precise, in a more concise manner. You really need to know where you're going to put them and not fall in love with it to the point where you use them almost ad nauseum throughout tracks. It just takes away from everything around it. To me, it has to be a bonus. It has to be a spice to the track. Specifically for a band that has this sound on this record, it really has to be a spice, and it cannot be one of the main driving elements on any given song. Unless you create a song all surrounding those harsh vocals and you make the clean vocals the spice of the track. But if you try to use both clean and harsh vocals in equal amounts within the same track and then overimposing the two, it becomes really chaotic. You really lose track of where you are in the song, and you completely disconnect from it from a listening perspective. The other element that I'm not fond of is the production and mixing on this album. The sound is really strange. It really feels like the audio was recorded and then the vocals were superimposed in it and not really mixed well. So you really have a clear distinction between the volume of the vocals and the volume of the music. And when you have an album that has a lot of symphonic elements, a clear merger of those two worlds is extremely necessary for the success of the record. You have to have a perfect symbiosis of vocals and instruments coming together where you don't know where one ends and you don't know where the other one starts. The two are just absolutely interconnected. You have to make the album feel like everything was recorded at the same time and not piecework. In this record, at times, it has the feeling of piecework, and that to me takes away from the overall quality of the record. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I picked 3 songs where the negatives are not as predominant, where you get a little bit more of a feel for the positives that I outlined before. And I want to start with Left Behind, a very dynamic track, very robust, very fast, with great tempo, and has an incredible underlying piano melody that really adds a lot of pop. It adds a lot of texture to the overall track. The guitar solo slows down the song ever so slightly, but to me, it gives something to the track, and what it does is it gives it a lot of melody. And then the vocals are very heavy driven, so you have this really interesting dynamic between the melody and the heaviness that the track has, but the two really work well together. And the switching styles and vocals between cleans and vocals in this song works well, because you have almost the same amount of the two, but there's not many times where one is overshadowing the other. The two are really working together almost as a tag team throughout the track, and that makes the song feel a lot more balanced. Next, Porcelain. Definitely the ballad on this record, and I really like it. It's really has a real stripped down effect to it. The vocals really are the driving force of this song. They really get the most out of this track. They really elevate the track, and then the layering of the male vocals and the female clean vocals. Overall in this song, all you're going to get is clean vocals, so you have a really nice balance vocally. But then the balance between the two, they really complement each other extremely well, and they really create texture, volume, and they really break down the walls that this song has. It really makes the song feel a lot larger, a lot bigger. It's a really dynamic track that just has great balance, great structure, and great delivery on all fronts. Next, Barely Breathing. To me, this is a song that has more of a rock vibe than anything else. It really feels like that a rock song at heart, with some metal elements at play. At least that's the playability that it had to me. Very melodic, both musically and vocally. The alternating male and female vocals works extremely well, creates a sense of a duet, and that is something that works extremely well with the music that it has. So the music is really compensated and is enhanced with the style of vocals and how the vocals were put together. That tag team, that duet feel to it, one really feeds off of the other, and the two of them, when they come together, gives the song such a robust sound. I really like that. It's a track that really has a break between the verses and the chorus. It feels to have a divide there, but that divide works extremely well because it's not really pronounced, it's not really in your face, it doesn't have an extreme break to it. It just has great attributes overall, and the merger of those two worlds of verses and chorus happen in a very smooth transition. So I like the way the song flows, I like the playability of the song, but more important, I really like the melody and the sense of a duet that this song has, with a more rock feel to it and not as much of a metal song, even though there's a lot of metal elements at play with this track. Alright guys, this is it. This is Semblant, Obscura, out March 6th. Let me know your thoughts on the band, let me know your thoughts on the singles. Use the comment section below, I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care guys.